Hey guys, welcome back to the Prehistoric Life Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Crawford, and as you can see, today we have another double interview. So, I guess we agreed that you can go first. So, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Madison. I'm a park ranger at Badlands National Park, and I studied geology in college, and now I'm getting pretty deep into the paleontology world. But I post a lot of what I do on social media as well, trying to spread the word of science communication. You can find me at geosplore.
There's her Instagram right there. If any
Uh-oh.
of you are interested, you should definitely go check it out. A lot of amazing content there.
Thank you.
So, I guess Max, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. Hey, I'm Max. Right now, I'm a master's student at University of Manitoba. Believe it or not, I'm not actually Canadian, though I might sound it. So my background, like Madison, is in geology, but I also minored in bio in my undergrad. And actually, like Madison, I have worked with the federal government as an interp ranger, and well, she's a lot bigger on social media than me, but that's because perhaps she has more time than I do being in a master's program. Uh, yeah, no, yeah, we've got a friend. We've been friends for a couple of years now, and we're planning on doing some more collaborations, probably mostly on her account. But yeah,
Yeah, we're getting
And
excited about
there's
it.
his Instagram if you want to go check that out. So, I guess the most basic question that I start off every interview with is, what is your favorite dinosaur? And I have a feeling I already know what you're going to say.
Really? You think you can take a guess?
yeah, you
You're
guess
going to
first.
say
I want to
not
hear this.
dinosaurs, but mammals.
Well, that's true. I do prefer mammal fossils to dinosaurs, but if I had to choose a favorite, I would go Triceratops. It's been my favorite since I was a kid.
A classic. So, Max?
Yep.
Which one are you?
Also going with a ceratopsid, Pachyrhinosaurus, because they're so weird.
All the way from Alaska.
So yeah, there's Pachyrhinosaurus in Alaska. That's the smallest species, Pachyrhinosaurus paritorum. I am personally partial to Pachyrhinosaurus lacustae from exclusively the Pipestone Creek bone bed in northern Alberta.
See, he has a lot more specific dinosaur opinions than I do.
Which
There are a
species
lot
of
more.
Triceratops do you like, Matt?
Don't ask me
Which
this.
species?
Don't ask me this.
So, I mean, I actually did an episode on Pachyrhinosaurus. I'll link that somewhere whenever I
I'll
put
have
this
to
on
check it
YouTube.
out.
Sweet.
What's
What's your favorite dinosaur, man?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, my personal favorite species of dinosaurs, Allosaurus.
Also,
Fragilus,
one?
to be more specific.
Which Allosaurus? Which species of Allosaurus?
Fragilus.
Okay,
Same species as
Morris information, sure.
and can either of you guess why?
ooh.
Is it because it's the one in Walking with Dinosaurs?
That is pretty much spot on. It's actually because of Big Al, but
Nice.
and also, let's see if I can actually get this off before I. This thing mostly just sits on a shelf because I'm afraid I'm going to break it. The story of every paleontologist. That's actually a Allosaurus hand that I got from Dinosaur National Park
Ooh, monument, actually.
Or-
Dinosaur National Monument.
Monument. Funny enough, I have a poster right there, and it says Dinosaur National Monument, and I always call it Dinosaur National Park.
I got a poster up here that says Badlands National Monument from back when they were a national monument, but now they're a park. So
Yeah.
maybe
Founded
one day.
in 1939, became a park in 1978.
She knows these things.
And I am sure TSA had a fun time with that
That's funny.
because I think I brought it on as carry-on.
I'm surprised they let you through.
You would be surprised. I have gone places and forgotten many things in my bag that I'm like, how did they not see this?
Over Christmas, I got through 2 airport securities before like the third one on my third layover finally realized, hey, you've got a knife in your backpack. You can't bring that on a plane. But I brought it on 2 planes prior before they caught it.
Oh my god.
Funny story, not about me, it's about my dad, but we went to Canada in Vancouver, going through all of the American things, nothing. But once we got into Vancouver and we were flying back, apparently he had a shuriken in his backpack that had been there for like 8 years.
What
And
can
they
I
were
ask?
like-
Why he had a shuriken in his backpack?
I don't know, but it had been there for so long, and he just forgot about it, I guess. And they were just
I
like,
use my knife for field work. That's why I had it, and they took it away from me.
That's
I need
rude
to get a new one.
They
It
were
is
just
rude.
like-
and really sad.
they were like, "Yeah, you can't have this." He was like, "I didn't even know that was in
Yeah.
there." It's one of those things.
Oh, that's
And-
fun.
I mean, I heard one guy how he brought like a fossil through TSA, and they were like, "What is in your bag, sir?" He's like, "Oh, could you just scan that on its own?" He's using TSA to get X-rays of fossils.
I've heard of people trying to do that.
Does that work? I didn't think that they were that penetrative.
Apparently, it did, is what he said.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
I
it was
know-
probably just like a smaller fossil. So
Well, I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Going to the
TSA
airport.
In the airport.
So I guess what got y'all into paleontology?
Oh man, I just naturally have gravitated towards it ever since I was a little kid. It actually started with rocks for me. I was a geologist first, I will admit, and I was never as big of a dino kid as a lot of other kids were. I was an ammonite kid somehow. I always thought I was going to be an ammonite researcher, which is maybe the nerdiest thing I could ever say.
A few of
But
those
yeah.
on my shelf.
Heck yeah, who doesn't, right? Like, it's a lot of people's first fossil they ever own. It's a great one. And
I think it was for
usually,
me as well, actually.
yeah, hey, and usually legal to collect. So not always check regulations, but yeah. And so just kind of spiraled from there. I've literally been saying since I
Spiraled from there.
ammonites. Yeah, I've been saying since I could basically speak that I was going to be a paleontologist and a geologist when I grew up. And then I forgot for a while, and then I figured it out, and I did it. So, pretty great.
I mean, it happens for everybody.
Yeah,
Always a fallback career. Maybe. I don't know what my fallback is if the whole paleontology thing doesn't play out. I should probably find something.
There's a lot of transferable skills.
It'll be fine.
I don't know. I'll just major in geology and go into construction or something.
Yeah, you'll be good.
Who knows?
Want to?
So what about you, Max? What got you into paleontology?
So unlike Matt, who is allergic to dinosaurs, I
Oh my
was a dinosaur kid.
Same.
And I was I think the earliest story that I was told by my mom. What's this? What are you showing me?
Got a giant Jurassic Park poster that was stolen.
That was stolen.
We're not
Talk
gonna, I can't go into any more detail. It might get confiscated.
Okay. Yeah, no, the earliest story that I was told of my interest in paleontology was when my closest in age younger sister Tori, who's year and a half younger than me, when she was being born, I guess the doctor was out in the lobby with us, just shooting the talk with us, and he was like, "So what do you want to be when you grow up?" Well, me, not quite 2 years old yet. He didn't know that I was that young because I started talking pretty early, so I was like, "I want to be a paleontologist." And he was like, "How old is this kid?" So so it goes at least back prior to 2 years old that I've wanted to be a paleontologist.
Sounds
I
about
had this
right.
weird phase in like late middle school to like halfway through high school where I was like, I can't go into paleontology. That's for kids. Dinosaurs are for kids. Sell all my dinosaur books. I can't do that. Put my fossils in boxes. I don't want to do that. That's for
You
kids.
got
That's
rid
for
of the
babies.
books? Oh,
I think I kept
heard
it
that
too.
all too much.
To be fair, they were kids' books, but then I was like halfway through high school. I was like, wait a second, what? No, this is what I like. It's cool. Shut up, younger me, and I've been back in it ever since.
heck yeah. Paleo origin story.
Exactly.
It's also a very unique field that you don't ever hear about usually, unless you know where you're looking.
That's true.
And I'm not even gonna lie, I've kind of just started using this podcast as an excuse to build connections with people.
It's a good
Hey,
idea.
that's a good way to do it.
And now I have
ends up
connections.
being pretty small, and you get to know people in it very fast, which is awesome.
That was one of the things I noticed whenever, because as y'all probably saw on Instagram, I'm talking to the viewers. I went to a museum in Charleston, because I'm planning on going there for school to major in
From the other
paleontology.
Carolina.
I know.
Are you guys gonna fight about it?
Huh?
Are you guys gonna fight about it?
We could.
For my entertainment?
I mean, there's obviously going to be a rivalry there.
Hey man, I just want to get my paleontology degree. Peace. But I went there, and like the tour guide was like, "Oh, I'm a geology student and I'm doing a paleontology focus thing." I'm like, "Oh, cool." Every other college tour I've been on, like I meet the person, I never see him again. They're just gone in the ether. But her, I saw her like 4 or 5 times after, and I was just like,
"She's too quick for the ether."
Like, who are you? I'm like, I'm going to know you by the end of this year somehow.
That's great.
I always love that, because then it's also like, okay, now I know that everybody knows each other, and you just get to know those people. I mean, what was his name? Scott Persons. I don't know if either of you
Yeah,
ever
the artist. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing guy. So shout out to you, man, if you're for some reason listening to this. He's probably too busy.
He's gonna watch for me. Me. I'm the celebrity here.
I'm going to interview him whether he likes it or not. I'm kidding. He'll do it consensually.
I'll know if we see that he's in a dark room and it's got ropes.
They'll know.
I'm handcuffed. Please help me.
Yeah, if he starts using hand signals, like we'll know.
It's like, oh wait. It's like, hey, put your hand down. I'm kidding. But so I guess, what do y'all do specifically?
Oh, big question. My job as a park ranger is like very complicated to explain sometimes, because we end up doing a lot of different things. I mean, obviously you think of park ranger, you think of like the person you interact with who tells you the things about the park, right? Tells you where to go, what there is to see, tells you about the history of the park, geology of the park, the paleontology of the park. But there's a lot of other stuff we do too. This category I like to refer to as duties as assigned, which could be literally anything. So I've, with paleontology being my main focus right now, I've been able to kind of dive into tons of cool paleo stuff. So at Badlands, we have like a fossil preparation lab in our visitor center, and it's kind of a unique one. It's completely open to the public, which is awesome. People can come in, chat with the preparators. They're working right there. It's fantastic. And I got
Pay y'all a visit.
Yeah, come on by. We'll give you the behind the scenes tour. But the lab is super cool, and I got to learn how to do fossil prep, and so I work in there sometimes. I've gotten to participate in a quarry that we've got going on right now, that we're probably going to have going on for the foreseeable future, because it is so large and full of so many fossils, and it's very difficult. But going out fossil hunting all the time, getting to do different programs, teaching people about geology and paleontology in the park literally every day, like doing a guided geology walk or a fossil talk, and it's a blast. And then recently I've gotten into doing some Badlands related paleontological research, and that has since culminated in a paper that is now in press.
I read that, by the way.
You did?
Yeah, very good. I like it.
Spoilers.
We talk about that another time.
No spoilers. It's in review, or it's in press, so it's gonna be coming out sometime soonish. Hopefully.
I'll have to go read it whenever it comes out.
Well, thanks. It's about little teeny tiny, like 5-pound Oligocene deer.
I got some deer stuff in here. We get plenty of those in the Carolinas.
Yeah,
I got an antler and a lower jaw.
Mm-hmm. I had a deer jaw around here somewhere. I don't know where it went.
And a vertebra.
Nice. So yeah,
I found it while walking in the woods.
Yeah, that's how it usually goes. But yeah, I end up doing a lot of different things. Park ranger. I also work on social media stuff for work, or like, I'm on the search and rescue team, like random stuff. You just end up doing a little bit of everything.
As you do.
Yeah, which is kind of why I like it.
Talk about some animals. Why not?
Yeah, kind of
That's
why
a
I
good
like it. Every day ends up being different. Never gets boring.
So what about you, Max?
Yeah, so Madison's way more interesting than me right now. I'm a graduate student, so most of my work happens at this desk, and I just do research is my main job. So as a master's student, the main thing that I'm doing most of the time is my thesis work. And right now, my thesis project is actually a mass survey of the face biting marks on mosasaurs. So mosasaurs, for the audience who might not know, that's that right there. It's basically a really, really, really big aquatic lizard,
reptiles.
and it's like it is a true lizard. Um, there's a little bit of venomous debate right now as to whether they're closer related to monitors or snakes, and I don't want any part of that. I am a person who prefers to study behavior. And the great thing about behavioral evolution is that it's not necessarily based on the phylogenetic placement of the animal. Now, closer related animals are more likely to behave in similar ways, but in many ways, it is the niche of the animal. I'm not going to say niche the American way, but it's wrong. The niche of the animal actually has a much bigger impact on how it behaves than who it's related to. Now, very, very closely related animals will behave very, very similarly, but mosasaurs in particular, I can't say that they act like varanids or that they act like snakes because they live an entirely different life from varanids and snakes. I don't care how closely they are related to either one of them, and so I have to look at them on a behavioral analysis of just them. Huh?
What about sea snakes?
Sea snakes live entirely different lives from mosasaurs. Mosasaurs are just giant super predators for the most part. There are little mosasaurs, and they're adorable. Mr. Clydastes, I love him.
Niche is the non-American way?
Huh?
Saying niche is the non-American
Niche
way?
is the right way. That's how you're supposed to say it in the English language, but Americans say niche, which is...
I have never heard that. I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah.
I hear both, and I just switch back and forth. I don't know which one I say.
So a niche or niche is basically something's ecological role.
Very specific role that it fulfills.
Like, for example, the niche of a condor is to clean up carcasses, right? They scavenge, they eat the carcasses, and then like the niche of dogs prehistorically was to be the bone crushing predator, and then things like
Only one group of dogs. Sorry.
Only one group of dogs.
Borophagians.
She knows more than I do about that.
Mammals.
Yeah, she's a mammal person. Fine. I'm going to
We're
say
all
then.
mammal people, Max. I've been saying this.
I am a reptile person. You watch me
one of us
pull off my mask. So. I am a reptile under this. Anyway, so long story short, I'm looking at how these guys would fight, and I'm hoping to determine a few things. Why they would fight. So this could be sex specific, this could be age specific, this could be resource competition. I don't know yet. I have to, right now I'm in data collection mode and learning about how bones heal. And that leads me into the other thing, is that how their bones heal from these bites could give implications for their thermal regulation. So right now, isotopic analysis implies that mosasaurs might have been more on the warm-blooded side of things. Also, interestingly enough, there is a specimen of a mosasaur that had live embryos. So mosasaurs may have also given live birth. And so if that's the case, they're very complex animals. And so I would expect that their behaviors would be as complex as you would expect from a warm-blooded and live birth-giving animal. And so we're gonna see what everything has to say about that. I'm really excited about my project. I just hate sitting at a desk. I'm so envious of Matt. She gets to go outside every day.
Oh my god! Can you tell that we both have ADHD though? Because that was
all three of us.
Yeah, cool.
What do I seem like I have ADHD?
No, not at all. No.
I'm totally normal. Actually, it's everyone else who has a problem.
You definitely were right there with you, Matt. Super fast.
I drank coffee right before this because I'm working late tonight, so I gotta.
The desk job is not.
I'm gonna be working on actually the bone healing stuff until midnight at least.
Oh boy.
Yep, and then tomorrow I'm driving from Winnipeg down to PaleoFest, after 4 p.m. because I've got to give a talk to my professors about this bone healing stuff. Ooh,
Oh,
can't
boy.
wait. Yeah. So anyway, long story short, my life is way less interesting right now than Matt's, but I like what I do.
So I actually have some mosasaur teeth here just to flash them off because I love showing stuff that I own.
Yeah, they sell that stuff from Morocco a lot.
Classic.
Actually, this one was given to me by I blank on his name, Seth from Fossil Shack. And
Seth, and I thought, oh, Seth.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know Seth from Fossil Shack.
I don't either. We know a different Seth.
We know a different Seth.
And this one
We
was
know a different Seth who probably would not give you mosasaur teeth.
No, he wouldn't.
And for everybody else listening, future idea, just toss this out there. I have seen Fossil Crate sells a mosasaur scaled skull. Cough, cough, nudge, nudge. Future ideas may or may not come out. Who knows?
I do not encourage the purchase of real vertebrate fossils, just for everyone watching. As a researcher, I cannot.
Yeah, same.
Oh no. It's like a cast scaled down.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I got a few of those because they're not. Let's not break everything. So I got like Coelodonta. I got 2 of these,
nice.
and an Apatosaurus skull. Interesting thing about the Apatosaurus skull, it is actually my personal mission now, since I got it, to travel around with it and get everybody that I interview to sign it.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and we're already. That's catch for me. One interview, one signature in.
Nice.
Yes, if we run into you, we'll sign your skull.
And
Yeah.
It sounds such like a random thing
It
to
does
say.
sound like a sentence I didn't think we'd be saying today.
There's not something.
I will
that
sign
you
your
should-
skull.
I'll sign your skull.
My name will forever be ingrained in your skull.
In any other context, don't say that. Don't go saying that to random people.
Oh no, I thought
There's a lot
I
of
was going to go say it in a school zone.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, I've got a great story for this, actually. There was one day I was at the park working in the visitor center, standing at the front desk. There's tons of people in the visitor center. I was chatting with one of my coworkers, and he and I were talking about the fossil quarry, and I was like, oh man, yeah, there's so many bones in there. They're all jumbled together. It's crazy. They found a ton of bones today. And he notices there's a woman standing behind me, a visitor, who looks absolutely horrified. And he looks at her and goes, no, fossil bones. And the lady goes, oh, okay. That makes so much more sense.
You just turn to her. You're next.
Yeah, she thought we were excited about a crime scene in the park. I was like, no.
Just turn to her. You're joining the collection.
Right?
5 minutes. Run.
Mm-hmm.
But bring water if you're going to go running in the Badlands.
Please.
Also, it's very slippery. Try not to do it when it's rained.
Yeah, also that.
I feel like if paleontology, if you had to describe it to somebody, they would think that you're insane.
Yeah.
I collect bones. It's like, you do what now?
Mm-hmm.
No, I am insane, just in a different way.
Yeah, I'm also insane.
Maybe the walls are talking.
Maybe.
Fun fact, the reason why she and I get along so well is because we're the same kind of insane.
Exactly.
We have the same flavor of ADHD.
Yeah. We don't know how it happened. We think some cosmic entity out there messed up by allowing us both to
Y'all
exist.
are long lost relatives.
Now there's too much power on this planet with us both existing. One of us is eventually going to have to kill the other, but
Yeah,
who knows
we'll
when
see how
that'll
long
be.
it takes.
There will be a duel somewhere in the Highlands.
Mm-hmm.
In the Highlands, we're going to Scotland for this one. Okay.
Why not? Beautiful landscapes.
Sure. Let's go have a duel in Scotland, Matt.
Okay, as long as the lands aren't too high, because we've already discussed that if it gets too high in elevation, then I have asthma and then I can't fight you.
Yeah. Also, are we using pistols or are we using swords? Because
Rock hammers, obviously.
you're right.
I'll say it again.
Foolish of me. Foolish.
Although, technically, there is law of combat in Texas. You can still do that legally.
Nope. Highlands. We're locked in.
We're locked and loaded.
It's got to be the
winner
Highlands.
might just get arrested.
I'm going to speak in my Gosh, can I do a Scottish accent? Maybe not. I'm not even going to try.
I can only do a British accent.
Oh, wait, it's Britain. They don't have guns there. Wait, you can't do pistols then.
I will lie. I will just lie.
Rock hammers and or rocks themselves work.
Yeah, rocks.
Just
Yeah,
Rocks
well,
can be weapons.
chimpanzees do it all the time. Why can't we?
We'll go ancient Homo sapien, just spears and stones.
Yeah, Stone Age battle.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
Bug beat Grug with hammer.
The Stone Wars.
Bone
We
Wars?
already had the Bone Wars.
Yeah.
We already had the Bone Wars. We don't need the Stone Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not convinced the Bone Wars ever ended. I think it just got compartmentalized, and now more people are doing it on a smaller scale.
Okay,
Probably.
here's my take on that. It's the follow-up. So the Bone Wars is over because that was Othno Martian Cope. That was their feud. But now
Yeah.
we have Bone Wars 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, obviously.
No. So what it comes down to is that, unfortunately, in paleo, there are a lot of people with some real big egos, and they can't handle when there's other people with real big egos. But especially, they can't handle when those other people with real big egos tell them that they're wrong.
Yeah.
And then that's where you get your mini Bone Wars. I won't say any names, but everyone knows who.
Come on, guys. Can't we just get along? Collaborate.
The science would be very benefited if we did. Science should be a team sport. I believe that very strongly.
It is absolutely a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
By the way-
Nanotyranus or juvenile T-Rex.
Yeah.
Pick your poison.
I'm not gonna.
I don't want to get into that.
I don't have enough expertise. Sorry. No comment.
I haven't read the paper yet.
I've read the paper. I did not think the justifications were very strong. I also find it very interesting that we've never found an ontogenetically mature Nanotyrannus, and usually adults make up the majority of fossil specimens of most species. But you know what? That's just my opinion. I'm not a Tyrannosaur researcher. I don't want to touch Tyrannosaurs. Tyrannosaur people are. I'm crazy. They're insane.
They're a different type of crazy. But I will comment on the Bone Wars, which is that if you make me choose between Cope and Marsh, I would always choose Joseph Leidy. It's the only
Yeah, she's right.
Just
Werewolf
throwing
Queen.
that
Just always Werewolf Queen.
Werewolf Queen?
Well, I think one of y'all got that reference.
I didn't
I
hear
don't
what
remember.
happened.
Oh,
He said
I-
Werewolf Queen? I don't know that. I don't know that reference.
it's an Adventure Time reference.
Oh. I recently got compared to somebody from Adventure Time in our TikTok comments.
Yeah, what was it?
I don't know.
Really?
I never watched the whole
Betty.
show.
It's called Betty, right?
I was compared to Betty. My sister says it's very accurate.
I watched part of it, and then I just stopped watching it, and I tried to watch it again, and I was like, I don't know what's going on anymore.
I remember when Adventure Time first started. Yes, back in the days when Cartoon Network was still good. Back before they ruined Teen Titans and Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
I'm not even a legal adult yet, and some people I've talked to make me feel.
Are we allowed to be here?
What do you got planned?
No, nothing. Don't say that. Don't say that. I will get in trouble.
I was talking to somebody. They're like, "I was born in 2014." I'm like,
Huh?
"What?"
That's not a real person.
I'm like,
No.
I'm like, "What?" I'm like,
How are you so young that you were just casually talking to somebody that was 20 from 2014 and
That's
you didn't
crazy.
know? When are
I
you
did
born?
karate
What
to
year were you born? What year were you born in?
Me, 2006.
Jesus.
That's not a real year either.
There are people who are almost adults that were born in 2006. You weren't even alive when like Revenge of the Sith came out. What?
I wasn't alive when Jurassic Park came out.
Well, neither was I.
Well, that's
97.
fine.
I'm not decrepit.
We're not that.
Hey, respect your elders.
No, we did have somebody on the TikTok video that we've got up right now call us old people.
I was like, spiritually, I am. Yeah.
That's
Thank
true.
you.
We're old souls. Our souls are in ages prior.
Fossilized.
If
if you
anybody's
will.
asked, I'm 27.
Okay.
I'm 26.
Nobody needs to know anything else. I'm kidding. I'm old enough to do whatever's need to be done. Maybe.
Are you old enough? You're not old enough to run for president.
Why would I
You
want to
already
do that?
admitted you're 27 and you're not old enough to run for president.
Why would I want to do that though?
Yeah, why would you want to do that? That's a very It's a very valid point.
Yeah,
Let's not get political here.
Hey, you guys ever see Obama at the starting end? Jeez.
jeez. We were literally just talking about this the other
We
day.
were.
Yeah.
Handsome young man to silver fox in 8
In
short
just 8
years.
years. It's a lot of stress.
It is.
I
Yeah.
would not want that job.
I'm just gonna stay away from politics. I don't want.
Yeah, it's funny. As a kid,
Let's
I
get
always,
political though. No, we can't.
as a kid, I
That's
always,
why I said I'm gonna stay away from politics.
yeah, I always said I was going to stay away from politics, but I would always just say I will never work for the government. That was like a common sentence I said, which is really funny because I work for the government.
The federal government.
Yeah, no less.
Your government job is different.
It's different. It's not politics. It's the National Park Service.
Yeah, she's part of the best part of the government.
It's like a mailman. It's like you're not
Yeah.
really a federal employee, but
She's
you
a
might as well be.
little better than the mailman. She
But-
delivers hot knowledge instead of late packages.
True that.
True.
Handled with care.
It applies to both fossils and packages.
It's true.
So I mean, have y'all seen Prehistoric Planet?
Yeah.
Both seasons?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which one did y'all like more?
I liked them both.
Yeah.
Fair point.
I don't know. I didn't have a super strong take on. Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but I felt a heavy theme about baby murder in the second one.
I thought it was worse than the first one because like when I was doing an internship at the Wyoming Dinosaur Center when the first season dropped and we all watched it together. We started taking cash bets on how many babies would die each episode.
That's great.
I almost won twice in a row, except the mosquito one survived.
We're
Yeah.
talking about dinosaurs in a show, not actual humans.
Not human babies.
Oh, we're
Please,
talking about
YouTube,
dinosaurs.
don't strike this down.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Wait a minute.
Uh,
There was a few in that first season, but there was definitely more in that second season.
there was quite a bit.
The thing that I always remember the most about the second season was the Simasuchus challenging the Majungasaurus. Because all I could think about was honey badger.
Yeah.
Yeah, Simasuchus don't give a. Right, I know I'm not allowed to curse on this one, but
We get what you mean.
oh, I can say what I need because I will.
We
He
get
said-
what you mean. Not
It was-
don't say what you mean.
I see.
One thing that I was like, I saw something where somebody was saying that Allosaurus was the badger of dinosaurs. Or it just kind of.
I don't know about that. They were the apex predator of their ecosystem. I don't know if I'd say badger.
Badgers are
Badger
pretty fierce.
mentality. Basically, just I'm going to defend against.
Yeah, but like,
I'm going to go.
if it came down to a badger or a coyote,
I think a
There's-
badger would win.
And they actually work together. Do you guys know
they
about
do.
this?
It's true. It's true.
It's one of my favorite things.
It's amazing.
Badgers and coyotes will actually team up out here in the Great Plains and they'll hunt on the prairie dog towns together, where the badger will stand at one entrance to the prairie dog colony, the coyote will stand at the other, and so somebody will get a meal and they'll just be walking around together. I've seen it once. It was amazing.
That's amazing. Oh my god, you didn't even tell me.
I saw it at Wind Cave.
Oh my god, that's.
I literally made
I've
the
always
person
wanted to
driving
do
a
that.
slam on the brakes and turn around. I was like, go back. We have to see this.
I've always wanted-
Another thing like that. Wolves and crows work together.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, the crows will give away where the prey is.
Mm-hmm.
So would there be dinosaur species that did that?
That's hard to test. You
'Cause-
know, you could say that's a research question. You know, your hypothesis, I guess, too, is you'd have a hypothesis and you'd have a null hypothesis. I guess you'd say that your hypothesis is that there were dinosaurs that would cooperate in such fashion, and your null hypothesis is that there were not. Now, we do have precedents right now of a dinosaur cooperating with another animal. That is the crow with the wolf. And so we can say, okay, so we've got a modern analog. We've got a modern, very closely related animal that does cooperate in that fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So we can say, all right, so now we've got a basis for which that we can say that our first hypothesis is yes, some dinosaurs did cooperate like this, and then our null hypothesis is that they didn't. Coming up with a way to test that would be remarkably difficult.
Remarkably difficult.
Yeah.
You would have to find the fossil records of that.
Here's something interesting. In more recent fossil record, obviously I'm going to bring it back to mammals, there is actually a evidence of, I believe, I'm not going to remember the specifics, but it was a badger-like creature and a dog-like creature literally fossilized together in a burrow. So they were denning together, which somebody also recently found evidence of badgers and coyotes doing currently. Which I think is really cool.
Is the evidence concrete that they were denning together, or could it have been a weather event? They both sought shelter in the same place.
Could be, but I have to read the paper again and look at the specimen. But
I guess it comes down to the sedimentology. I mean, if they were buried rather quickly together,
it could be seeking shelter. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm familiar with what you're talking about. I haven't read this. One of the cool ones, though, of a behavioral thing is that they actually find entelodont food storages sometimes where it's just like the back half of carcasses for some reason.
Yeah, entelodonts are weird. I like them.
Matt, do they have any hypotheses about why some entelodonts might have done that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I honestly don't know. Entelodonts, though, for those out there who don't know, are basically gigantic, terrifying wild boar pigs. People call them the hell pigs. They could be up to the size of like bison, and they were scavengers and had canines that, as we observed recently, larger than T-Rex teeth. Like, they were big.
Like the one that we saw was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're wild. And
that is a very unique thing that happens in nature. Because you said they use the back half of carcasses as food storage?
Well, they would store the back half, and I think what I had heard was that maybe they were eating the front half and then storing the back half for later.
I don't know why that would be. Like, why is that a pattern? That's bizarre.
Animals behave in such unique. They have like animal behavior has rules, and so there are things that are consistent. You can assume driving forces for many behaviors, but every animal has little quirky things that are totally unique to their species. So this is what I would assume to be one of those things that I can't think of a modern analog, but this is something that could have an analog.
And this is why we need to work with more biologists as paleontologists.
We need to so paleontologists need to have more of a habit of putting
modern zoologists
and sedimentologists. Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah. Modern zoologists and sedimentologists on their papers. Almost always, I think. I think they should almost always have at least one sedimentologist and at least one modern zoologist who specializes in an animal that is related or an animal that fills a similar niche.
Yeah.
Niche.
You went against your wording.
I broke the rule. I'm sorry.
You're a traitor.
No, it's habit. It's habit.
And then the other half of that
I wonder that I was a preschool teacher.
And the other half of that is that you're looking at modern creatures for creatures that are millions of years ago. So could it possibly be that since they were millions of years ago that they function differently?
Well, of course. Yeah. But behavior evolves very similar to physical traits, where you've got typically an evolutionary pressure that would drive it. So natural selection, we know in modern evolution, is not the only driving force behind evolution, but it is certainly one of the most major. And many behaviors are driven by natural selection. And then the other major thing would be sexual selection. So natural selection and sexual selection would be the two major drivers of evolution. But then you've got random mutation and you've got like weird like population dynamic things. And so there's just a lot of weird reasons why an animal could evolve a behavior. But when you're looking at this in the fossil record, unfortunately, you can only really interpret the ones that come from natural selection or sexual selection, because those random mutations, as for now, wink, wink, we don't really have any strong genetic markers for them. So we can't really go in and just see, hey, where are things that just show up as mutations in the fossil record?
Yeah.
So I'd also like to touch on that. So everybody knows of Darwin's finches. Now they all have different beaks and all that. I mean, for different foods and stuff. The mammoths on the like last mammoths on the island, I'm curious if their like fossils were like I guess you can't say genetically different, but were like different shaped or like misfigured or something, or like kind of deformed because they were doing kind of inbreeding.
Are you talking about like the Channel Island mammoths?
Like I mean,
Yeah.
so like I'm curious if they changed from mammoths into like a more altered state of mammoth.
Well, they were still mammoths, but they were smaller.
They were, yeah, well, if you get into the island biogeography concept, right?
Which is opposite for reptiles, weirdly enough.
Yeah. Weird.
They get massive. Komodo dragons.
Yeah. Mammals get tiny.
Huh, no wonder dinosaurs were so big.
Very, very low.
Dinosaurs are a different question. Because dinosaurs were a very unique reptile in a lot of ways. A lot of the things that apply to reptile biology today do not apply well to dinosaurs because their metabolisms were different. Their lifestyles were very different. So a lot of people find themselves comparing them more to mammals. This is like risky.
Mammals win again.
Huh?
Mammals win again.
But do they if dinosaurs did it first?
But who's alive and who's dead?
Both.
Okay. Fair. Okay. Who survived a mass extinction event better? Mammals.
Both.
There are more bird species alive today than mammal species.
Okay. Non-avian dinosaurs. You know what I'm talking about. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, well, that's not fair. You can't just like cross out.
She's gatekeeping. She's moving the goalpost. This is what she does. This is what she does to me. Listen, as soon as we turn off the camera, she's call me names, and she's gonna say such horrible things to me, and I just can't stand the way that she's doing.
Is this like an abusive relationship? Do I need to call someone?
It's an abusive friendship for sure.
What did you say about me?
I said that you're an abusive friend.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I shouldn't have said that. She's gonna pull out the belt.
Yeah, everybody who knows me knows that, obviously. Point being that when you refer to the KT or KPG extinction, everybody knows you're referring to non-avian dinosaurs.
But why do we make the separation? What are we going to say? Non-triceratops dinosaurs next?
Sure, say it. I don't care.
That's just as accurate to say.
Okay, so what about like the other extinctions, like the Permian-Triassic extinction? There were dinosaurs.
Big one. No, there were not dinosaurs.
They were not. They formed after. Sorry.
Yeah, dinosaurs show up for the first time in the Middle Triassic.
About 220 to 230 million years ago, if I remember correctly.
Wow, she knows things about dinosaurs after all?
Hang on, I have to pull up my notes about extinctions. Hang on.
Hey, I know the KT I know way too much about. So if you
everybody knows about
that. But
that's right, you did like a project or something, didn't you?
Yeah, I worked I studied for 3 months under Walter Alvarez's right-hand man. Basically,
she met Walter Alvarez too.
I did. He was really nice.
What about the Triassic-Jurassic extinction?
That one's interesting. And
there were dinosaurs during that one. There were definitely dinosaurs during that one.
There were. Actually, the dinosaurs were kind of the ones that made it through in a successful fashion. Mammals did too. Actually, there's a big talk about maybe that's where feathers became more prominent, is because if things got colder, maybe feathers would have acted as a good insulator. And maybe that's also what reinforced potentially mesothermy, if not endothermy, in other non-avian dinosaurs. Yeah.
And we're in the 6th major extinction, and mammals are dying. So.
Yep.
Everything's dying right now.
Life
will make it through. It always does.
We'll figure it out.
We won't.
Or something.
We won't make it through. And this is not a political statement. I know you know politics, but this is scientifically proven. It is 100% our fault. It is 100% our fault that we are in the Anthropocene mass extinction.
We are the meteor.
And not just climate change. There's a lot: habitat destruction, overfishing, overhunting, coral reef bleaching, which is for many, many reasons, pollution, et cetera. There's so many reasons beyond climate change, and climate change just happens to be one of the really, really big ones. But I wish people would focus on all of them, because we cannot ignore any of them anymore. We can't afford it.
No. Yeah.
And I do feel like that part of this extinction was definitely not all human, but it definitely has taken up a lot from human.
Well, did you guys see that really interesting paper that came out not too long ago about the megafauna extinction? And basically the train of thought with that, I think this paper came out of the La Brea tar pits in Southern California. That institute, they were researching the megafauna extinction and basically came up with all of this really fascinating data about how right beforehand, all like fire rates increased drastically. Wildfire rates were huge. And then they subsequently proved that those wildfires, the reason there was such a spike in them was because humans showed up. So not only were humans overhunting the megafauna, they were also causing fires, which at a more frequent rate, which
they didn't have
these
Smokey back then.
weren't used to, and they didn't have Smokey Bear, so they didn't know what to do.
Well, no, because Smokey Bear was trying to eat them.
And basically, that's the megafauna extinction. It's because of a lack of Smokey Bear.
So there are a lot of species that are going extinct naturally. That's true, and there always are.
Well, there's always the background level, yeah.
The rates of extinction that are happening right now are not natural. There is nothing natural that's causing them.
And if anybody out there would like a great book to read on the topic, read The Sixth Extinction by Elizabeth Colbert. It's an amazing book.
Gee, I wonder what it could possibly be about.
Yeah.
Stroking my shaved beard hair, so. But I mean, there's a lot that goes in, and the word mass extinction gets thrown around a lot, and I don't want to say it's lost its value because
it has a meaning. It has a very real meaning.
It definitely does get thrown a lot, and there are a lot of mass extinctions that aren't the 6 mass extinctions. I mean,
well, you've got big extinction events, but typically you would define a mass extinction as a loss of 75% of species
globally.
Yeah, globally. You've got large extinction events. I think a lot of people would probably lump actually the end Pleistocene extinction in with the Anthropocene extinction, because there seems to be a pretty large quantity of evidence that was maybe also sparked by the spread of Homo sapiens. And so it was probably slower. I mean, like that was something that like those species were going extinct over the course of thousands and thousands of years. But now you're seeing extinction rates like has never been seen in any point in human history. You've got today estimates are something like 200 species every day. That's there's nothing natural about that, and a lot of that is because of human pollution. Habitat fragmentation is actually one of the worst. So actually, the way that we do agriculture is horrible. Habitat loss as a result of agriculture is terrible, and a lot of that is because a lot of that agriculture is not even for humans. It's being used for livestock that are, and then you got another issue with the free range livestock. So cows in particular in North America actually graze things down to the ground, and they'll graze in one spot. Whereas bison, and I don't know why we started doing the cow cultivation here. We should have just stuck with bison. They were already here. Bison will eat things until it's relatively low and move on and give those things the time to grow back. Cows do not do that. Cows mow them to the ground, and then those plants are dead. And so you've got huge habitat issues because of that. You know, you've got feral cows out in Nevada chewing on these desert plants that never had herbivores like that to deal with, at least not in recent times. You've got the fertilizer from these farms that is going down the Mississippi River and causing these mass algal blooms that is killing so many animals in the Gulf of Mexico, which is considered this pristine, beautiful place to go scuba diving and see all this great marine wildlife, but they're dying. Most species extinctions right now. It's not that it's a question of whether it's us. It's that.
How is it us?
For the majority of the extinctions that we've seen in the last 2 decades, it's been very easy actually to directly tie it to human activity. Yeah.
And the thing about all of it is it's so intertwined and complex. All the ecosystems are so complex that we can't even begin to understand them. And I think the biggest flaw we have in our understanding as a society of extinction events is that we have the KT extinction in our brains. We have that it's something dramatic and it happens and it's over. Extinction events take a long time. Even
one that was like 100,000 years. I mean,
to
millions, was like 2 million. Yeah,
millions. The Permian, was a very long extinction event. And
That's
another failing we have as a species is like we just have such an inability to think beyond our own timescales. And this is really detrimental to us because if we can't see an immediate consequence for our actions, we don't care, right?
Isn't that something that's mentioned in that book? You were talking about that.
So that's a different book recommendation. And this, well, it probably is mentioned in Sixth Extinction too, you're right. But this is my favorite book of all time on geologic topics. And I would recommend anybody read it, even if you're not a geoscientist. It's called Timefulness, and it is amazing. Timefulness, subtitle, How Thinking Like a Geologist Can Help Save the World. Really good.
mean, the fact that you're mentioning timescales and things. I mean, you said one was 2 million years. It's like, that's more than double humanity.
We can't even comprehend.
This is a blink of an eye extinction. This is a very, geologically, this mass extinction is remarkably fast.
Well, I remember hearing something, and it's like, if you stick your arm straight out, humans are like,
I use this one.
The
I use it all the time.
The fingernail.
Yep. And if you file your fingernail once, humans are gone.
Yeah. It's like we don't matter on the grand scheme of things. We are just,
except unfortunately we do.
Because we're making an impact that will be seen on geologic time.
And that's why
we are nothing in geological time, but
but our impact will major. Be. Because the species that we drive extinct, biodiversity will take quite a long time to rebound, longer than we've existed.
We're going to leave an isotopic signature for sure.
Huge.
In the
God. And the overturn of geological formations that we've created all over did you know that in the United States alone, there is enough concrete laid down to fill up the entire surface area of the state of Ohio?
Oh, I hate that fact. Thank you.
that is oddly specific.
We have changed the landscape of our planet drastically. And there is no shot in hell that the future paleontologist species, whoever they may be, descendants of octopus, descendants of raccoons, I don't know.
Going to be the octopus, let's be honest.
Yeah. There is no shot in hell that they will not be able to look at these changes and recognize that there was something weird that is not represented in earlier geologic history. So while we are a blink of an eye species, our impact will be recognizable on geologic time because of everything that we've done.
I think that's a great way to put it. Yeah. Well, that was a lot of mass extinction talk.
Let's continue. What's your favorite mass extinction?
KPG, I guess.
Whatever that means.
It's the only one that's faster than this one.
I don't want to say. I always call it the KT, KPG.
That's outdated. The tertiary.
I learned from the old timers. Leave me alone.
We all know what you mean when you say that.
Yeah, I don't want to say the KT just because everybody says the KT, but I would say the KT.
I'm actually partial to Permian, or not Permian, Triassic, Jurassic.
I don't know. There's just something fascinating and like heavy metal about just like the worst day to be alive in all of Earth's history.
But even that one still took like hundreds of thousands, if not a million years.
Oh yeah,
impacts. I mean,
I don't know. The Permian Triassic extinction killed a lot more than the KT.
No, it did, but it wasn't quick.
No.
It was very fast. So the KT extinction, 100,000 years is pretty quick. But a significant portion of things, in particular in the Americas, were wiped out pretty quick.
Yes.
On the first day. So I'll say in the Americas, it was probably the worst day ever to be alive.
I always say if another asteroid is going to hit Earth, I want to be right there. I want to be right where it hits. I don't
even want to experience it. Yeah.
I do not want to see the aftermath. Like geologically, I kind of do because I think it would be interesting to watch, but I know I wouldn't make it. So I want to be.
Because right of that, it's funny that she mentions that because what that means is that a lot of dinosaurs and a lot of marine reptiles and a lot of other things that we think of as Cretaceous animals actually were alive at the beginning of the Paleogene.
And fun fact, there's new evidence of ammonites in the Paleogene.
Oh.
About 300,000 years after the extinction, if I remember correctly.
That's insane. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, okay. All that. What about horseshoe crabs?
Horseshoe crabs are peak evolution. That's true.
They are the perfection.
It's true.
Feel like evolving today? Nah.
They just walk through anything. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just exist. They'll survive.
Yeah.
I'm convinced they'll survive this extinction somehow. They'll make it through. I don't know.
I'm not
how
going to
they'll
hedge
make-
any bets about anybody surviving. I mean, somebody will, but I'm not going to guess who. No, wait, I am going to guess who, actually. I know exactly who's going to survive. Raccoons will.
He just
Coyotes
loves
will.
raccoons. Don't listen to him.
You're
Possums
talking about
might.
octopus and raccoons.
No,
What about
listen
horseshoe-
here. I've got reasons for why. I've got reasons.
horseshoe
For why.
crabs.
So
Nothing killing them.
maybe horseshoe crabs will survive. I don't know. Ocean life's
Okay.
not doing so hot right now. But generalists, in particular, animals that are easily adaptable. So the reason why I say raccoons, in particular, I think raccoons are they've got a really great shot, is because raccoons have actually radiated, partially because of us, no, entirely because of us, around the planet.
Yeah.
There is not a country in the world that does not have a raccoon. And at least one. I don't
At
know.
least one.
Most big cities on every continent have raccoons raiding their garbage. Now, you get to a point where it does get too cold for them or too hot and dry for them. But most continent, well, I'll say every continent has raccoons. I shouldn't say every country. Every continent has raccoons. And that's because they are so remarkably adaptable, not only just to temperature and environmental conditions, but to what they eat. They're potentially better at being generalists than even we are. And that's why we succeeded so well. So actually, humans only almost went extinct at one point. We actually had a massive bottlenecking event a long time ago. But I think that raccoons will make it through. I think corvids will be the dinosaurs that make it through, because they're those really smart generalists. They're really adaptable. Sorry, were you going to say something, Matt?
Oh, I was going to bring up more mammal stuff.
Oh, so yeah, apparently raccoons aren't found in the northern Rocky Mountains. Duh.
That's true.
A lot of
Yeah.
stuff
So
are.
raccoons don't go much further than about Edmonton, Alberta, north, and that's because I used to live in Alberta that I know that. But
I don't know if you guys have seen him. The what's his name? The Outdoor Boys guy.
the Outdoor Boys.
So he just goes and
Crab
lives
Brothers?
in Alaska.
Oh,
One of
I
the
don't know.
things he did was he was really high on a mountain, and they're like, "What about bears and animals?" And he's like, "There's nothing up here. It's nothing but snow for miles. I am the only thing up here." It's like,
No, there's no food up there. A bear's not going to go up there.
it's like, yeah.
Okay,
He's the food up there.
Back to raccoons for a split sec. Max, for the audience out there, how many raccoons have you been bitten by?
Oh, do I have to tell everybody? Do I have to tell everybody? 3.
Come
I've
on.
been bitten by 3 raccoons.
That's my favorite fact.
I'm sure there are stories behind all of those.
Yeah,
But
and they
also-
all involve. No, you go ahead.
I was just going to talk about how when raccoons first showed up on the evolutionary scene, they outcompeted a species of dog that used to exist that did basically, I always say evolutionary job because visitors don't know what I mean when I say niche or niche, whatever one. They basically occupied the evolutionary niche of a raccoon, and then raccoons outcompeted them.
Wow.
And we see evidence of this.
I know a word that rhymes with niche.
Huh?
I said I know a word. I know a word that rhymes with niche.
No.
I won't say it. I know the rules. I'm following them.
We can imply things, though. Yeah.
We can. Yeah. No, I didn't say it. I didn't break the rules.
Say anything.
So I mean, nowhere to go from that. I don't even know where to go from that. I'm not even gonna lie. Circle all back around, back to life on our planet or prehistoric planet. Did y'all see life on our planet?
Is that the Morgan Freeman one?
Yes.
Yes, I did see that.
I also saw this.
I did
Richard
not-
Attenborough or Morgan Freeman? Who are you picking?
Attenborough.
Yeah, you gotta give it to him. Morgan Freeman did great though, although I had big
You can't go wrong,
qualms.
with Morgan Freeman.
No, you can't go wrong. I had big qualms with the way he said cephalopod.
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 Hey, it's
Sorry,
just the
Morgan
Morgan Freeman spin.
He did. I did feel like he pronounced a few things a little weird. Like
Most of them I could forgive though, but
Mm,
cephalopod, I was like, I can't forgive that one.
use the hard K sound.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Richard Attenborough too. His brother made Jurassic Park. He talks about dinosaurs.
David Attenborough is the one that was in there. Richard Attenborough is the one that was in Jurassic Park.
Other way around. Yeah.
Yes, the other way around. One's John Hammond, the other
He
one
was also
talks about
Santa
what
Claus.
John Hammond found.
He looks like Santa Claus.
He played Santa Claus in Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah.
He was Santa Claus,
Mhm.
and he did.
And arguably, he was Santa Claus in Jurassic Park as well.
That's true.
Sure acted like him. Not in the book.
No,
Yeah.
not
In the book, he was evil. He was evil like billionaires are supposed to be.
He also
Fun
died in
fact.
the book.
Oh yeah. Fun fact: Max and I have a friend named John Hammond.
And he goes by Seth.
Yeah,
He goes by his middle name, even though he's
Yeah,
a
and he's like-
paleontologist.
and he's a paleontologist.
He has the coolest name for like a paleontologist, and he's known by Seth.
He doesn't use it.
He doesn't use
Seth,
it.
Seth, if you're watching, this is your sign. This is your
This is
moment.
If you're watching this, Hammond, do it.
Mhm.
Stethoscope, do it.
Start a petition. Get a.
I want that done. Somebody start the petition. Go
start
on
a
to
petition.
go on to change.org, start a petition. Seth, change your name to John Hammond, or just it's not even change your name, just
Doesn't
start
have
using
to
John
Just
Hammond.
go by John
Just
Hammond.
use your actual name.
We
Just
will
use your
get you a
name, man.
museum, and we will name the museum Jurassic Park. You can have it.
There
It
we
will
go.
be perfection. Also, I have my holy
That's sick.
grail,
I always wanted one of those ones. Those are beautiful.
the Bible of
Really good on a
Jurassic
show.
Park. I never really realized how much different the movie was.
Yeah.
So
Have you read
apparently
The Lost World? That one's way different.
they carpet bombed it at the end.
It was a very different book than the movie.
In the end of the movie, they're just like, okay, all the dinosaurs will leave peacefully. And that one, they're like, kill them all.
Liked the addition of I actually liked the San Francisco thing. I know that when it came out, it was like a little controversial, but I actually was like, yeah, T-Rex wrecking stuff. T-Rex destroyed the 7-Eleven or whatever.
There are definitely a
I
few
love that.
jokes in that movie that I'm like, I'm surprised you can get away with those. But then I'm also like, oh, wait, yeah, the time.
Yeah.
But they're also still funny. They're not really that bad. But
No, I don't know. I guess it's been a while since I've seen it. I don't remember those jokes.
like all the Asian people calling him Godzilla.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's more just a reference. I think that's more a joke about Toho as a
That might be.
studio than like just kaiju films classically.
Also,
Because at the time there was one American Godzilla film, and we don't talk about that one.
No.
I don't know. It's still it was all right.
Oh wait, it wasn't out yet. Actually, there were no American Godzilla films because it came out a year later. I just realized because Jurassic Park: The Lost World came out in '97, and Godzilla came out in '98.
And you know all of this off the top of your head.
I am
No,
not-
he's looking it up. He's cheating. But I mean, also,
I'm a loser, Matt, and I don't have a life.
I know that.
what do you mean? This is your life.
I don't have a life either. It's okay.
But I mean,
She
also,
says after she like literally hangs out in the Badlands all day every day.
No,
Whatever.
that's just my job. It's my job, not my life. My job is my life.
It's a cool job. It's a cool
then
job.
you have a life.
My job is my life.
Then you also don't have shape-shifting Carnotaurus or color changing, whatever you want to say, Carnotaurus in Jurassic Park movie, but they were in the book.
Oh yeah.
Really interesting. I want a graphic novel of Jurassic Park. I know it's out there somewhere, and I need to find it.
Mm.
It probably it has to exist.
Somebody
Right.
must have made a fan copy or something.
Yeah.
There is a lot. There was a lot the movies were missing.
Yeah, so it goes with
We don't-
adaptations.
We don't talk about Jurassic
Lord of the Rings did pretty good.
Okay, you know what did better?
Huh.
Princess Bride.
I need to read the book.
You gotta read the book. It's so
Oh,
good.
I love it. So, child, I know that you're too young to probably know much about Princess Bride, but that is maybe one of the best movies ever.
I've
made.
never seen the movie, but I have heard of it.
Oh
You
my
have
god.
to see it. If
Actually,
you're
I
gonna
probably
be,
have seen the movie. It just
if you're gonna
Yeah.
be in the paleo world and surrounded by nerds, you have to see it.
There are very few perfect movies in this world. It'd be a shame to miss this one.
Indeed.
That was a reference that you didn't understand, but somebody in the audience got it, and I know Matt did.
Favorite Jurassic film. Let's convert this back over.
Oh, actually, The Lost World, believe it or not.
Fair enough.
I just like the original one. I just like the first one. I used to watch.
Absolutely fair.
I used to watch it on VHS back in my day.
Ooh, me too.
Oh my gosh, we're so old.
Yeah, back when. But yeah, yeah. Have you ever even seen a VCR?
Actually, I have.
You have. Wow.
Good answer.
Do you know what
My
a floppy
friend
disk
brought
is?
one to
Do you know what a
school one
floppy
day.
disk is, and do you know what it's used for?
The what?
A floppy disk. Do you know what a floppy disk is, and do you know what it's used for?
Yeah, it's for storing data on a very old. computer.
Wow.
One of my coworkers walked in to the back office the other day with a stack of floppy disks and specifically targeted me because I was the youngest one in the building that day and went, "Do you know what this is?"
Look, I'm young, but I'm not that dumb.
I
Okay.
used to play computer on floppy disks.
One of my first game systems was a
on a
Game
floppy
Boy.
disk.
It was like
Yeah.
a Game Boy Flip. Come on.
Mm.
I live pretty.
My first console was a Nintendo 64.
Ooh.
I've got an old school Nintendo somewhere, or my dad does.
Mm.
We share it. I played the crap out of that.
Do you know what it means to burn a CD?
Isn't that whenever they put the actual
Stop quizzing him, Max. He's
whatever
nice as
on
Surprised
whenever
how
they
much
put
he
whatever
knows.
on this
He doesn't
CD?
know this stuff.
No, he got it.
Yeah, he got it. You're right. You're right.
He knows what's up. Oh man. Well, you asked us all these questions. How did you get into paleo? Was it also a lifelong endeavor for you?
I have always been into dinosaurs. And it started with Jurassic Park.
As it goes.
And here, it's right up here. I keep it right above where. Okay.
Would you break?
They're trying to kill me. No, I didn't break anything. It is actually based on the Allosaurus from the Ballad of Big Al.
Mm.
Nice.
And that's actually kind of why Allosaurus is my favorite dinosaur, because I don't want to say it was the first dinosaur I was introduced to, because of course I knew T-Rex, Triceratops.
Yeah.
Fun fact about Big Al, they actually found medullary bone on her.
It changed
Yeah.
species.
I have a friend named Al who's a girl.
Yeah. It's Al. It doesn't have to change.
Yeah.
I got to touch Big
She
Al.
goes by Al.
I got to touch Big Al when I visited the collections at MR.
That's
I
cool.
have my little fangirl moment.
Allosaurus is actually one of the species with the most
Genera.
fossil
Allosaurus
pathology
genus.
on it.
Allosaurus fragilis is a species.
They also found one in Australia. A species of
Did
Allosaurus.
they? I heard about that.
Interesting.
And they also are one of the species that have a lot of just pathology on them. So they're always beaten up, scratched up, bitten up.
Mhm.
That's true of a lot of large theropods.
Pathologies are fascinating, though. That stuff is super interesting.
Yeah, live fast, die hard.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely died hard.
Yep. Die Hard 2, Die Harder.
Or if we take it back
Die
to
Hard is the best Christmas movie.
Of course.
Yeah.
Not going to hear any argument from me.
No, me either.
And Home Alone is barely a Christmas movie.
I prefer Elf.
I don't know. We need a dinosaur Christmas movie.
I'm sure one exists.
I'm sure there's one
That's
out
so
there.
weird. There's a dinosaur Thanksgiving movie, but not a dinosaur
weird.
Christmas movie. Yeah, there's
How
We're
weird.
Back, a Dinosaur Story. That's a Thanksgiving movie. But
Yeah.
there's not a dinosaur Christmas movie. No, I'm sure they did. Like they made like 30 Land Before Times. Or one of them has to be like weirdly Christmas themed. Yeah.
I'm
If
going
not,
to Google this
niche
now.
that must be filled. Am I right?
Right. Yeah. A niche, you mean?
A niche.
Stop acting like such a niche.
I don't have opinions on this. I'm just doing it to annoy you.
Okay, so technically, yes, there
find
is
the
a
thing to get
movie.
There is. We confirmed.
There
Which is
is a movie from 2004, called The Chris.
I'm a little bit scared.
I'm just gonna pop this up. The Christmas Dinosaur. I spelled Christmas wrong because I'm
no.
illiterate.
Oh, that looks.
So-
Wait. Make the pictures bigger so I can see.
They are
Oh.
definitely
Oh,
very-
but it's a
Ooh.
pterosaur. It's not a dinosaur.
It's not a dinosaur.
no.
Also,
And it's also a robotic dinosaur toy. So
it gives Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
It does give that. Yes.
well, you know what they say. I mean, Christmas is the
Oh my
trying
God!
to
Look,
put
it's a
things in.
pterosaur on the cover of the movie too. So it's like that's the only one.
Yeah.
So there's not even a dinosaur. Nope, doesn't
No.
count.
Read the
It's an
synopsis.
Arkansas Christmas
Yeah.
movie, but it's not a dinosaur one.
It's not a
A
dinosaur.
boy named Jason wants a robotic dinosaur toy for Christmas, but gets a real dinosaur egg instead. Where a pterosaur hatches.
Pterosaur even.
They don't
That's
even
not
say
a dinosaur.
dinosaur hatches of it. They just say pterosaur.
They just say pterosaur.
Somebody needs to have a serious conversation with whoever made this movie. And by serious, I mean violent.
There's your cast. You can go yell at them.
No. Don't
Probably
bully
not
the
their
actors. Don't bully the actors. They didn't do anything wrong. I want to bully the writers.
The writers who always need to do more consulting with the scientists.
Exactly. And the directors. And the studio. You know what? If we're gonna bully anyone, studio execs. That's who we should bully.
True story.
So, I mean, if we're going to go down that route, should
Where are we going
we
with this?
take up arms against Jurassic Park for being inaccurate?
In 1993, it wasn't bad. I would rather take up arms against Jurassic World for not
Yeah.
fixing those issues.
Yes. Although no. I'll give Dominion its due. They did kind of put feathers on the Tyrannosaurus.
Okay, but I will
Again.
never forgive them for the mosasaur thing.
Yeah, the blue whale sized mosasaur.
Guys.
Also, did you notice that they put it in a deep water thing?
Yep.
Although if it was that massive, it probably would be deep water.
But
Yeah,
it
it would
wasn't
have
that
to be.
massive, so
But also, the only
Technically,
way
it's not wrong.
for it to be that massive too is for it to be a filter feeder,
yep.
like blue whales.
It's
But
Or
indicate
or
it's not.
yeah,
or it's just
and then
genetic.
okay. And then they had the new at the time the new one Moros Intrepidus, but that is a deer-sized tyrannosaur, and they made it a beagle-sized tyrannosaur for some reason. They're like, oh, it's a small tyrannosaur, we'll make it little tiny baby tiny.
They're
They had
tiny.
the Pyroraptor dive and swim like a penguin for some reason. Absolutely no reason for that. The Dimetrodon had a T-Rex head. What? The only good thing was the Dicynodon. The Dicynodon looked fine. I like that one.
Dreadnoughtus was all right, or Dreadnoughtus was
No.
all right. But you also,
Oh, it looked way too Sinclair.
you also only see it for like 2-ish seconds.
Yeah, they did
Also-
the classic like big back hump and like
Also,
snaky
you know-
neck thing.
Why were they also putting them in such tiny cages? Is there no like
Because
zoo?
they're cruel. Because
Is
they're
there no
cruel.
like zoo law on that island?
So actually the what's that really good paleontology podcast? It's like evolution something, or gosh, there's a podcast that's really good about paleontology. They do an episode about why Jurassic Park is a terrible zoo, and like why it's constructed like it's constructed. They did everything wrong in constructing
That's
the park.
great.
Yeah.
I need to listen to that.
I'll give them for the time, and because they were technically
Understand.
hybriding. They were hybriding these dinosaurs. I'll give them that. Maybe
I
Tyrannosaurus
think that
would
they
have
used
ended
it
up
as a
more.
crutch. I think they used it as a crutch because, like, okay, they did that in the first movie. Okay, frogs. Okay, so they can breed with only females. That's fine. That's fine. They never. They could have established. Oh, the technology got better. The technology got better, and our sample size got better. So the DNA that we're using is more complete now. And they could have said, okay, here's these accurate dinosaurs. I mean, they're consulting guys like Steve Brasati. He's a world-class paleontologist. And it's like they didn't even listen to him.
Yeah. That's all I have to say. The other thing I was going to say is that his book about mammals entirely skipped the Oligocene and didn't mention the Badlands at all, and it made me sad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But
I've got it. It's on my bookshelf.
Well done, Steve. But that part, I was a little sad.
You're not happy that he at least acknowledged mammals with a whole book?
Well, yeah, but not my mammals.
Not your mammals.
But I think
Dinosaur
that,
Smithsonian.
nice.
Pretty
That's
cool.
cool. Yeah, I think that
So,
we could get into a neat discussion about paleo art and paleo reconstructions based on our comments on this movie or these movies.
Yes.
Yeah, paleo
I'll
art.
give them for the time. T-Rex did not have lips, and they were still debating the feather thing. So it could have possibly been.
They still shrink wrapped it quite a lot. Like T-Rex was definitely a chunky guy.
Yeah.
Now, okay, fine. Keep Rexy the original design because it's the same individual, whatever. But they did have other T-Rexes that they showed at the end of that movie.
And Buck, Endo, and
they
the
could have had
Junior.
them be big, chunky, fat guys.
Mhm.
You want to start a real debate?
I support fat T-Rex. Oh, I'm not going to touch that one with a 9.5 foot pole.
I support most reconstructions being chunky.
Yeah.
I mean, Entelodon, let's go back to
I knew you were
Entelodon.
going to bring that up. Yeah.
Example, they've got weird phalanges sticking out from their face, and paleo artists always reconstruct them as being shrink wrapped when their closest living relatives are hippos and pigs.
It makes me think of hippos actually, who've got the weird bone stuff going
crazy
on.
faces, yeah, but neither of which are known for being very skinny. So obviously, Entelodons were pretty chunky, and I say that like it's fact. Obviously, we don't know, but odds are they probably were.
Most likely.
So, I mean, I guess the only question is, which Spinosaurus are we going with?
Oh, well, the one who's short and got baby legs.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's been like kind of accepted for a while. I think the big hot debate right now is like,
was it
their
completely
lifestyle
aquatic, or
yeah,
was it partially aquatic?
and the truth is, this is what I was talking about before, where people will pick a camp, and realistically, if they were working together, they could probably find a much more accurate conclusion.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to say this. I am a fan of this design. I know it's not accurate,
Looks
but
cool,
it
but
still
it's a movie
looks cool.
monster.
It still looks cool. I mean, it may not be accurate,
But I'm not going to call him a dinosaur.
And that Spinosaurus in that movie was a force to be reckoned with, and was definitely highly aggressive.
That Spinosaurus should have been dead the moment T-Rex bit it. T-Rex would have crushed. Like, T-Rex bit Spinosaurus on the neck and it didn't die. Call shenanigans.
To break a human pelvis, you need 1,700 pounds per square inch of force. Don't ask why I know that. And
That's quite a
so
lot.
I could only
T-Rex can definitely bite more than that, but
T-Rex was about 32,000. Or bite force for its bite force. So it could definitely go more than that. I don't even know how much that is just off the top of my head. I went through too many math classes to not know how to do math.
Yeah,
they did, and I remember the thing that they did with the mechanical T-Rex skull, where they crushed a bunch of stuff.
So it's about 18 times more
than what it takes to break a human pelvis. That's actually a lot less than I thought.
To break it's a little bit over. So assuming Spinosaurus vertebrate was about the same size, which it probably was not, in the neck of a human pelvis.
I've never seen a Spinosaurus vertebra in person. It might have been.
I don't know.
Well, so here's the thing: the vertebra would be solid, unlike a human pelvis. A human pelvis has a bunch of holes in it, and this vertebra are these chunky blocks. There's a reason why we find the centra of vertebra so often fossilized, just the centra of the vertebra, because it is just this block. But the neural cord, however, is maybe a little bit more delicate. So what I'm thinking is the sheer force of T-Rex biting a Spinosaurus's neck, even just the quick chomp, not even just like bite and then press, should probably be enough to paralyze a Spinosaurus.
To just absolutely.
Probably.
Here's the thing about this. T-Rex would have like a bull neck, like the neck of a bull.
It would have been very muscular given the size of the head. Yeah.
Given the size of the head, the strength of the jaws, all that muscle in its head.
There would have been a remarkable amount of muscle in T-Rex, yeah.
And I don't know if you know this. You can't snap a bull's neck that easily.
Well, I can't.
Okay, Musashi. Chopping bull horns off with your hand. Okay.
I'm just built different.
So the amount of force it would have taken for the Spinosaurus to just go snap would be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like that
Yeah.
thing could compress diamonds with his jaws at that point. It's like
I also think that the Spinosaurus wouldn't have thought to do that. I think it would be more likely that the Spinosaurus would have bitten held, because that tends to be the instinctual kill move, rather than actually twist the neck sideways.
then you could just go with the whole Indominus Rex from Jurassic World.
Also, Spinosaurus is not super well adaptive for taking on large prey, and in fact, I think that there's a lot of evidence that they were largely piscivorous.
So I feel like to end this debate, T-Rex versus Spinosaurus. Spinosaurus on land gets dominated by T-Rex, but if
Okay,
T-Rex
I hate
goes
that this
to water-
conversation happens so much, but I'm going to indulge. So, here's the thing: T-Rex has a lot of stats above Spinosaurus, and those being muscle, number one, bite force, number two, and brains. So strategically, T-Rex would probably be the upper hand guy, in spite of his little hands, because T-Rex by mass, as far as has been figured out so far, has the largest brain of any dinosaur. Now, their brain's overall size was roughly, pretty close to ours. Keep in mind, it's a much larger animal than us. But then you consider, okay, at what point did bird neural density show up? And so, that could be an adaptation related to flight, or it could have shown up much earlier. There's no way to know right now. So if we assume the T-Rex had the neurology of a bird, we're talking about a brilliant animal. If we assume it had the neurology of more close to like a crocodilian, that's still not a stupid animal. So Spinosaurus, however, did not have a very impressive brain, even among theropods. So I would consider the intelligence, the strategic intelligence. Then I would talk about, so Spinosaurus might have been a good swimmer, but that's still a debate. And it's still a debate, because there was a consideration that maybe because of the sail, they would be prone to topple over. And so the big thing on the Holtz and Sereno side right now is that it was a wading stork. So it would have been, standing in the water. It does not have the body plan of an alligator, though. That's the problem. So I'm not going to weigh in on this, because I'm not the one doing the research, but I will say that I would not assume Spinosaurus would fill the same niche as an alligator, because they actually have a totally different body plan than alligators. But that said, so I don't think T-Rex necessarily would have to get all the way in the water if it was going to fight. Oh, also, I'd like to say they lived in different parts of the Cretaceous on different continents. But if they did meet, T-Rex would not probably have to get into the water, because Spinosaurus may have been just standing on the edge of a river anyway. But T-Rex could probably swim, and it's not because I saw it in Prehistoric Planet, but it's because I struggle to think of very many vertebrate animals at all that cannot swim.
So I guess instead of looking at T-Rex, we could look at like a large other theropod that was more Rex-like, I guess you could say. Carcharodontosaurus, which was also around in that same area as Spinosaurus.
Yeah, I think that there may have been, I don't know if there's evidence of their interaction. So the Spinosaurus record is pretty scrappy.
As we know, it was destroyed in Poland in World War II.
Well, the holotype was.
Yeah.
There's other material since then. But the holotype for Spinosaurus was destroyed in the bombings. But so there is other material. But as for the pathologies, I'm not sure how much work has been done on the interspecific interactions between Spinosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus. I haven't paid attention to them very much, because I tend not to go looking for Spinosaurus papers.
I feel like if we were to find like fossil records of those two fighting at all,
you'd have to do a similar study to what I'm doing. You'd have to do the pathologies, and you'd have to match those pathologies up to each other's teeth. If
we don't find anything of them fighting at all, or well, I guess you couldn't say feeding, because they probably were both
No, they inhabited the same ecosystem, and they're both very large theropods, so they probably were inhabiting very separate niches. That's why I'm thinking that probably reinforces the evidence that Spinosaurus was a piscivore, which they find teeth from fish in their lodged in their mouths.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and Carcharodontosaurus was certainly a land predator.
Also, if you look at alligator teeth, which are not completely piscivorian or fish eaters, I mean, they look very similar, but
well, alligators are actually about 80% of an alligator's diet is fish.
So yeah, I mean, and they look very similar, so you could probably make some educated ideas about that.
Oh, sure.
And if you do not think this is real, I will fight you on that. I pulled the brain, muscle, guts off of it myself.
Don't need details.
So. I will send you pictures.
I don't want them. Thank you, though. That's very kind.
Fun fact, we find alligator fossils at Badlands.
And that's really cool.
It is really cool that alligators existed in South Dakota, and that's really the only fossil you need to tell you exactly what that environment looked like, which I think is really neat.
I want a saltwater.
There was a little more water there back then than now.
Pretty subtropical, basically comparable to modern-day Florida. 37 to 34 million years ago in South Dakota.
The Everglades of the Badlands.
Indeed.
Florida in the middle.
Florida, but put it in the middle.
Fly over Florida.
Without the crackheads and all that.
Yeah, no, not that part.
I'm convinced people from Florida don't actually exist. They're paid
Both of
actors.
my parents are from Florida.
Y'all are government paid actors.
Maybe. They're pretty convincing. So if so, good job to them.
there's no way they're real.
Bugs Bunny and just saw Florida off and let it float out to sea.
Florida doesn't exist.
Kiyoshi, if you know what I mean.
It's a little bit more violent than what I was thinking, but sure.
Have you seen the new live action Avatar?
We were watching. We've been watching it. I finished it. Actually,
I did not finish it yet. I got frustrated.
Boomy sucks. Boomy was a horrible portrayal.
Why was he so violent?
I don't know.
He was like, "I want you to kill me." It's like, dang, buddy, that's not how you were at all.
It's a little aggressive.
He was like a jokester originally. I mean, he was like, "I'm gonna prank everyone."
Mad genius.
Yeah, a mad genius.
Exactly.
We have some other people.
You're a mad genius.
I will say though,
and then as a kid, he was normal. The whole interaction is, Boomy, you suck at carving.
I will say it was better than the non-existent live action movie.
Oh well, anything is better than that.
That's unwatchable.
It's truly.
Wait, what movie are you referring to? I didn't think that one existed.
Make fun of it.
It did not exist.
Yeah, to make fun of it.
There is no live action movie. Much like there is no movie.
Yeah, there's no. Well, apparently there's not going to be. We'll see.
There is no movie in Ba Sing Se. There's also no logic in Ba Sing Se.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're about to hit an hour and a half. So, what do you think? Did you ask all your questions, or did you have any more?
Any final thoughts?
I could probably sit here and ask y'all like 60 more questions and sit here for like 4 hours, but I know y'all are busy. I mean, so I guess, do y'all have any final questions for me? Anything you want to add, talk about, etc.?
What is your name?
I'm Eric Crawford.
What is your favorite color?
Green.
Good answer.
What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
African or European swallow?
Hey.
I don't know that.
Oh my god.
I have seen Quest for the Holy Grail. Trust me. That is an amazing movie.
I'm not
Maybe we should build a large wooden badger.
Just look at the teeth.
Your father is a jubble and your mother reeks of elderberries.
I know a wizard named Tim. Actually, that's a story for another day. But I know a wizard named Tim.
I'll have to get y'all back on the show. Y'all are full of liveliness.
We're better than everybody. It's true.
We do talk about this sometimes, yeah. But yeah, we've got a lot of stories, and we try to have a lot of fun. And yeah, thanks for having us on, man. This has been awesome.
Of course. I mean, if y'all ever want to just like come on and talk about something, just shoot me a message.
Yeah, we'll just crash the party every now and then.
We'll have to brainstorm some fun topics.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm planning on staying in contact with y'all. So I guess.
Is it
if
cool
y'all
if we
gotta go-
promote this at all?
What's up?
Is it cool if we promote this at all?
Sure, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know why I wouldn't want you to. This guy sucks. Don't talk
She's
to
this
him.
big shot with 1 million views now. So
Hey, no. Not
My
yet.
lowly 300.
yeah, I know. Give it 2 days, right?
Oh
I'll
god.
stick to my Spartan 300.
It's a good
And-
number to
I don't know if that's the right way. Yep, there it is. There's her Instagram with her 2,500 followers to go.
Almost
give her-
7,000 on TikTok.
Go give her.
Oh
a
jeez, I haven't
follow.
looked at that in a while. Ooh, that's crazy. I was at 600 on TikTok like 3 days ago, so anything can happen, you guys. I'm
Hey,
not exaggerating.
And let me actually pull up the right one because they switch places every single time. And there is Max's
Is it? Oh,
Instagram. So go give that a follow.
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
So I guess if y'all gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah, thanks
I
for
got-
having us on. This was awesome.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Good times.
Yeah,
Good
nice to meet
times.
you.
No alcohol required or allowed.
Mhm. And good
No.
luck at College of Charleston. Definitely let us know how it goes.
Absolutely. So I'll talk to y'all
we'll be
later.
watching your career with great interest.
So I guess if y'all gotta go, skedaddle.
Alrighty.
Okie doke.
Remember the
See ya.
stairs go
Hey there,
up.
bud.
Yeah.
I thought they went down.
And that was Max and Matt. That's actually two different people. I was about to say they're from the same thing, and they're not. That ended up getting really off topic, but I do not care. I love that. And if you want to go see some of these amazing dinosaurs in natural habitats, they're in museums. Go give a like and a follow to my boy Dinosaur Trips. I was about to say Fossil Trips. He does museum tours. He takes you backstage. All that. I'll plan my own trip. And one that I personally suggest is Utah and Colorado. They're Red Rocks and Raptors. Even though there were no velociraptors, there was Utah Raptor in America. I'll give them that. There was Utah Raptor in Utah. Dr. Brian Curtis. So definitely go check that out. And if you see him, tell him Prehistoric Life sent you. They'll give you $250 off your tickets. And if you want to see me in all this promotional stuff, I want to try to get them to promote some stuff. Go check out my Instagram. It's at Prehistoric Life Podcast. Some underscores. So go check that out. As you can see, there will definitely be some stuff uploaded after this. I love those guys. They were so amazing. And if you want to see my content a little bit earlier, I might upload this episode earlier than I planned on doing it. Go check out my YouTube at Prehistoric Life. So there it is. There's Sky. So big shout out to myself, I guess. And if you want all of that in one place, PrehistoricLifePodcast.com. Go check it out. What's going on? There we go. So go check that out. And if y'all want them back on, please smash that like, subscribe, do whatever. Share this with your friends. I really want to get them back on. And I really hope this episode does well. But till next time, I'm your host, Eric Crawford, and I will see you all next time. Signing off. This has been Prehistoric Life Podcast. And remember, keep it prehistoric. Goodbye.